Hey Harmonizers, welcome to this trail ride with two special horses. We've got Alfie and Teddy on this trail ride. Alfie is my Mustang that you guys may remember we brought out of the wild last year and did the gentling and taming, and he's really become an amazing little superstar. And then I am riding Teddy, and we came across this very weird sign while on the trail. Lost your keys, phone, or jewelry. They do metal detection in the middle of the forest, and this is a massive forest and area that we get to go through. We're pretty lucky that this is nearby. And there's this pond here that we get to take the horses into the water, which is super fun, especially on a hot day. Today's a little cooler day. And Alfie was a little bit like, nope, I'll probably get stuck in the mud. But I love how he doesn't do anything really big or scary. He's just kind of like, no, thank you. We should not go into the water because I will probably get eaten by an alligator. It's like, yep, that's a totally fair thing for a Mustang to say. And I really appreciate that you didn't, have a really strong reaction and try to rear or buck or take off or anything like that. And so he just kind of, waits a little bit. And then eventually, with some patience and persistence, he's like, you know what? The water is actually okay. And then after he's kind of in the water and he looks around and he checks it out a little bit, he actually starts to play. He's like, oh, like this is actually enjoyable and really lovely. So it's super fun to see him enjoying that. And this was the first time we'd asked him to go into the water. He's been on a couple trails before. He did one trail with me last year before my accident, and it was a superstar with the traffic and everything. And then he's done another trail this year already. And this is Coach Ryan that's riding him. She's been really loving him, getting to do some of the jumping work with him. And she coaches lessons at our farm and enjoys having him as well. So it's great to have somebody that likes riding him and is putting some extra good miles on him. When you have a green horse, in this case, Alfie's only been out of the holding pens for a year now because I got him in June of 2023 and it is now June 2024. So he's only been out of the holding pens for a year. So he's still considered what you would call a green horse, meaning doesn't have a ton of experience under his belt. Even though he's gone on some trail rides, he's been to a couple shows, he's been, he's done a few things that are kind of exciting and fun. But he's still considered relatively new to the whole riding thing and understanding rules and boundaries. And even though we strive to have a partnership and there's a little bit of give and take, for safety's sake, because a horse is such a big animal and can be such a fast animal, it's super important that if I say, okay, we need to go right, you will go right, please. Or you cannot canter now, so please do not canter now. So it's important that they learn all of those basics, and a lot of it has to do with just being patient and persistent with your cues, but also really thinking ahead of like, is this realistic to ask of my horse today? And so we decided, yep, it's realistic to ask Alfie to try going into the water, and we followed through until he did, and we made it a really great experience. And then this is me aboard Teddy, and I'm going to take Tedster into the water. And Teddy is an older gelding. I think he's 18 this year. And he's just a super safe, steady Eddie that my little daughter, Evelyn, loves to ride. And she's only 4 and she loves to ride him and is learning to do some little jumps and all sorts of stuff on him. So he came out, and it's so great to pair those green horses or those young horses with a horse like Teddy, who's super chill, relaxed, just walks right into the water, because he can set a really great example for Alfie, like really calm energy, and kind of show him how to do things. When a horse is really young or they're green, like not as experienced, they are at a place where they can either become a super amazing horse that's really calm and confident because the people that are working with them are consistent, are fair, all of those little pieces, but also if they're surrounded by horses that have calm energy. If they're surrounded by horses that are nervous and skittish, then they tend to get upset. If you think about it, if you're, a human being and you're in a room, you've gone somewhere new and you're in a room with a bunch of people that are super chill and relaxed, their legs are up, relaxing in a chair, they're just reading a book or being on their phone, then chances are you're going to be relaxed. But if you go into a room and it's a new space and people are really fidgety, they're not able to sit still, they're kind of pacing, they look like they're worried, looking out the windows, like almost like they're looking for an escape route or something, then you're going to get on edge and wonder, what's up, what's going on. So it's super important that when we're raising these horses that are young or inexperienced, that we have calm energy people and calm energy horses around, and that we're not asking them to be around, other nervous horses until they're ready, until they've got that partnership with us where they've got that trust and they've got those miles of experience. And so Teddy's just such a great influence on Alfie. Here's a little bit of us going for some canters through the field, which is super fun to do. And we did a little bit of practicing some energy control and what we call emotional control, because some horses can get worked up where they get kind of herd bound on the trail and they can't leave other horses. So we practiced a little bit of leaving each other a little bit, kind of working within our horse's limits and going for some canters, and yet not cantering directly to the other person, kind of cantering past them, because we don't want to teach horses to gallop back to their buddies, because that can just promote them to want to keep running back to their other horse friend. So it's important that they feel comfortable with us and that they're not feeling like they always need to go to the other horse. So you can see now Alfie's the one standing still while Teddy's going to go for a little bit of a canter with me. I love riding Teddy because he's such a smooth ride, but he's just such a steady horse. Absolutely love him to bits. He's a total gift for sure. And you can see he's so cute going along. And he tends to have a bit of a metabolic disease, like where he eats too much sugar in the grass and then he gets a little chunky. So it's good for him to do all the exercise too. So this part here is showing you that we came across some wild strawberries, and wild strawberries are only the size of a blueberry, which is kind of cool. Here's Alfie jumping a little log, and then a little bit more going for a cantering stretch. There are lots of fun spots to practice our emotional regulation, and Ryan did a great job with that on Alfie. And he's so good at picking up the speed and then slowing down again. And then here's a little clip as we come to the road to do our crossing. We're pretty lucky that we have access to such a huge forested area with like farmers' fields and forest and ponds and all sorts of stuff. It does involve crossing the highway to get there. And of course the trail goes alongside the highway, but it's very much off to the side, which is nice. But there's this spot where we have to cross. But the horses are super awesome with the cars, and all in all, these guys are little superstars. Let me know what you guys thought.
Remember to subscribe and check out harmonyhorsemanship.com for even more learning.